Hello friends, Happy New Year! It's my first trip to Tokyo Disneyland for the year, and I have a Wednesday off work, which is really rare for me, so I figured I'd get a cheaper ticket, and it's also the first day of the Palpalooza Minnie's Funderland event. I don't know which way around those two things go. Palpalooza is this two-part event, and this part is called Minnie's Funderland, so I don't know how I'm supposed to say that exactly. But yeah, I figured you guys might like to come and see my day that I have coming here on a quiet, hopefully quiet, definitely quieter than Halloween and Christmas, Wednesday in January. Sadly, Haunted Mansion and Beauty and the Beast are closed, but hopefully the low crowds will make up for it. So, let's get inside. Speaking of ride closures, this is why it's super important. I'll say to anybody, if you're planning a trip to Tokyo Disney Resort, maybe the most important thing is to check the ride closures. They put them up on the website months in advance. So like I say, right now, Beauty and the Beast and Haunted Mansion are closed. They both reopen on January 26th, I think, but immediately afterwards, Pooh's Honey Hunt and Peter Pan's Flight are closing. Also over at Disney Sea, the nighttime show Believe is not on right now. Toy Story Mania is closing this month, so it's well worth checking, especially if you're trying to avoid the crowds. You want to make sure you don't also avoid your favorite rides as well. I have to say, it's really nice to just walk through the entrance like a normal theme park for once. Last time I was here for Halloween and Christmas, all of this area around here was all completely full. I am getting here a little late. It's like 9:10 now, which is a bit late. As some of you will know, the parks say they open at 9 o'clock, but really they open around between 8:15 and like 8:40. But still, I got here around this time at Christmas and it was absolutely rammed. So it's really relieving to just walk straight through and listen to the music, and it just feels like the way you're supposed to do it, you know? Definitely worth avoiding the crowds if you can here. We're in. I've done my priority pass. I got a priority pass for Pooh's Honey Hunt. That's basically a fast pass for those of you who are older than 5, I guess, who remember those not that long ago. And what else did I do? Oh yeah, I checked the entry requests. So for those who don't know, the entry request is like a lottery that you can use for shows and for meet and greets. But then I realized another thing that's closed right now is Mickey's Magical Music World, which is probably the best show in the park. So I didn't bother, because sometimes you win the lotteries and then you decide you don't want to go, so you don't go, and there's just an empty seat there, and you know, someone else might want to use it. So I'm not bothered about Club Mouse Beat and Jamboree Mickey, so I left those alone. And then another thing you might want to do when you first get in is make a reservation at a dining location, but again, I'm on my own. I'm just going to hit a counter service place. If you're with a big group, it can be nice to get a Crystal Palace or a nice restaurant. So I just realized I've been hanging around the entrance a bit longer than I normally would because I'm getting some footage of the Minnie Mouse decorations. And I realized they're still playing an announcement here saying, if you have a multi-day pass, then you'll need a hand stamp to come back in. We haven't sold multi-day passes since 2020. It's 2024 now. So, you know, surprised to hear that. Decorations are very pink, but that's fine, it's fun. You know, I kind of like having these mini events that are not mini event, hahaha. You know, not like Halloween and Christmas. They don't have to be big things. Not that we've been really doing big Halloween Christmases either, but I like something that's a bit different and a bit fun, and yeah, for what it is, this is great. The people who like it are gonna love it, and the people who don't, hey, it's gonna last a couple of months, whatever. I'm kind of impressed with how much decoration there is. It's more like when I saw it in photos, it didn't look like very much, but seeing it in person is actually quite a lot. It's pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited about the next Palpalooza if we're gonna get Donald, or like I said, I would love a goofy one. Imagine, like, as pink as this is, imagine that but with goofy silliness instead. Oh, that would be so cool. But yeah, whoever it is, I think it's gonna be pretty neat. So I'm looking forward to seeing that too. I was gonna head to Space Mountain first because, you know, we only have a few more months of it. I thought that would be quite a nice way to bring in 2024, but Yeah, it's like an hour-long queue, and Pirates is 10 minutes. And I'm hoping I can get a priority pass for that later. You know, the queues tend to bulk in the morning and then kind of calm down a bit. So I'm going to do that a little bit later on. I'm going to go on Pirates. I do hope we get to see Space Mountain without two big cranes behind it before its final farewell. I guess we should, because it's closing after Fantasy Springs opens. So if the cranes are still in Fantasy Springs after it's open, then yeah, we're in trouble. It does seem like the park's a little bit busier than yesterday. I was checking the app yesterday and everything was like less than 30 minutes for most of the day. So I was kind of hoping today would be like that as well. I know it's the first day of the event, but they always do like a sneak preview the day before, and all of the guests who care about the events know these things. So, you know, the decorations have been up for a couple of days. They did the parade yesterday. So I thought it might not be so busy, but hey, compared to Christmas and Halloween, this is lovely. I can stretch my arms out. I have space to breathe. And hey, I'm about to wait 10 minutes to go on Pirates of the Caribbean, one of the best rides in the world. So can't complain. So, first ride of 2024, Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's go.
Shift your cargo, dearie. Show 'em your larboard side. Belay there, you forecastle swell.
Something I love about Tokyo Disney Resort is that their maintenance is just so good. Like, I just rode Pirates of the Caribbean, everything is working perfectly, but sometimes a little bit too perfectly, or too well maybe. So, you know, you go in, you come out of the caves, and you see Davy Jones, and then you see the giant ship, right, with Barbossa on it. And what I love here is there's so much mist. There's mist everywhere, and it just makes that space look enormous. But there was a bit too much today. So even through to like the mayor being dunked in the well, I couldn't see him. I couldn't see the guy because there's just mist everywhere. So might have been a little bit too much today. But anyway, Pirates is always a pleasure. How can you not love Pirates of the Caribbean? I'm very happy I started the year with that. And I'm just going to take a stroll around and see which short lines we see. So there are already lots of people waiting along the parade route. We have the normal daytime parade, Harmony in Color, starts at 1. It's now 10:20. So if they were waiting for that, they'd be waiting, what, 2.5 hours? But they're not waiting for that. They're waiting for the 3:45 Minnie Mouse parade. So people really do come here and wait all day, which I don't think you see much of in the other parks. I remember when I was in California, I saw some people putting mats down to wait for Fantasmic, maybe for a few hours. But yeah, people will wait all day here. And if you think this is just because it's the first day of the event, nah. They're gonna keep coming back again and again. Every weekend will probably be like this. So if you really, really want a good spot for the parade, you're gonna have some competition. The wait's actually gone down to 40 minutes now, so come on, 40 minutes. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna ask about the single rider. I don't think it's running. I'm quite sure they haven't run it for quite a long time now, but let's go have a look. As predicted, no single rider for Splash Mountain, but it's worth a try. I'll try again with Big Thunder later, but again, I'm quite certain that they've both been stopped for a while. This I can understand because you've got, you know, you want to incentivize people to pay for DPA, but Big Thunder has the free Fast Pass, so I don't really get it for that. Anyway, we'll try that later.
さ早く行った方がいい。一徳がね、近いうちに剣つね。
見ろ、ウサコが笑ってるじゃねえか。
さあ、おいらの笑いの国にホップステップジャンプだ。おいらの笑いの国に連れてくぜ。
Because our work is play, boy are we in luck. We're visiting our laughing place.
おいらの笑いの国はその8コスだぜ。イカのワニさん、どこに連れて行くんだ。話せよ。
Ah, I do love Splash Mountain. They should really think about building one of those in America. I'm sure it would cause zero problems. No, it is great, isn't it? I was at the front and I actually got a bit so spraying out now. I actually got wetter than I expected. Normally you don't get very wet. That's why it was kind of cool. In the summer they started doing the get wet version where it actually has a splash, basically the same as the American parks are normally. Oh, were. Sorry. Sorry. But yeah, obviously it's the winter now, so they're just running the normal version. But if you're at the front, you get like a spray. Like you sort of go through the misters, and then it can kind of like, there's a spray. You know, the Imagineers said it was really funny because they spent so much time trying to get the splash out of Splash Mountain because they thought that, at the time anyway, guests would come to the park wearing like kimonos and wearing really beautiful, delicate clothing. So they thought that guests wouldn't want to get wet, which is hilarious now because in the summer we have like events where they spray water cannons at people, and like I say, now we actually get a splash on Splash Mountain. But it's quite nice actually. Like Alex, my podcast co-host, who a few of you will already know, of course, the Happy Zan on Instagram, he's really glad that we don't have much of a splash because he doesn't want to get wet, and I understand that a lot of people don't. It's a really fun ride and it has a great drop, so it's nice to know that you're not really going to get wet. But yeah, a bit more than I usually do on that time. So I picked up some fast passes. I got the fast passes for Space Mountain, so I'm really happy about that. But I thought, oh, it comes with like a little notification if it's near your other time, and it was near my Pooh's Honey Hunt fast pass time. So I thought, oh, well, that's, you know, there's like 20 minutes. They're not very far away from each other. I'll be fine. And then I realized that's when the parade is. So I think that's why they were available. I think people don't want to get fast passes for like the hour before the parade, because obviously they want to wait and get a half decent spot, because the vast majority of people here today are here to see the new event, and the new event basically is the decorations we saw earlier and the parade, as well as food and merch and stuff. I don't know if I'll get any of the exclusive food today. Probably not. I'm not so much of a foodie. I think I've been wanting to make a all restaurants ranked video, but I haven't actually been to all the restaurants here. So there's a few I need to tick off. I haven't done, for counter service, I haven't done Hungry Bear, and I haven't done Good Luck Cafe. Anyway, I want to tick some of those off so that I can make this restaurants ranked video. It actually makes me realize that a lot of the restaurants here are really cool. and really like nicely themed and just nice places to hang out. And there's a lot of them. Like, it's really hard to make myself want to go to like the Japanese restaurant. Like Hungry Bear, like I say, Hungry Bear I haven't been to. And a lot of people who come here from abroad say that they absolutely love it because it's Japanese curry and they're not used to it. I live here, I have Japanese curry all the time, like on a weekly basis. So it's not that special for me. So, you know, when I'm here, oh, that's the other one, China Voyager. Because it's always so busy and it's ramen. And like, I can get ramen anywhere here. It's Tokyo, you know. When I'm at Disney, I like to get like churros and waffles and burgers and sort of the things that I can't get anywhere else. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try a Hungry Bear curry today. So I collect these little Tomica toy ride vehicles because when they make them with the ride vehicles, they look super awesome and it's a great thing to bring home. I just love anything that looks like a ride. But this thing is not a ride, but it's near the ride. Like, it's a real thing in the park. So I'm really torn on it, because like I have Donald's boat, and I have Mickey's car, but I don't know, something's just been stopping me from getting this one. What do you guys think? So I think I'm getting a little hungry now, so I'm gonna go and grab a curry from Hungry Bear, see what those are like. Probably have a beer with it as well. And then it'll almost be time for Harmony and Color, the daytime parade, which is still kind of new. I guess it's almost a year old now, but I haven't seen it so many times, so I would like to catch that. And then it's almost time, it'll almost be time after that for my Pooh's Honey Hunt and Space Mountain priority passes. Parade route is filling up. We're getting more and more people waiting for the parades. Although actually not as much as I expected. You know, I think like between not having annual passes and just the events over the last couple of years being kind of lacking, like the people who are really into them are obviously going to come, but it's not as busy as I expected actually, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, it could be good because it could mean that OLC need to up their game and bring us some real big events again, or it could be, you know, OLC might learn all the wrong messages from it, or learn all the wrong lessons rather, and say that, oh well, we tried to do an event, we did some decorations, we had a new parade, but people didn't care about it so much. Then again, I just read something on Twitter that says they're making 5,500,000 yen per parade just from the DPA, Disney Premier Access, which is people pay extra to get prioritized seating. So if that's true, then we'll probably be seeing a lot of these. But that's the weird thing that's going on now, is like, rather than getting guests in the gate, they're more interested in taking more of their money when they are here, which is a little strange. Like, I don't know why you can't have both. I don't know why you can't have annual passes and have these people who are going to come and spend a lot of money when they come. Doesn't seem like an either-or thing to me, but whatever. So I'm here at Hungry Bear now, and although I have like looked around here before, maybe I've had like a snack here before, but I definitely haven't had a curry, so I'm going to try one. But I do just love this area. It's like a little western town. Because Frontierland, like a lot of the lands here, can kind of feel like just a path from one place to another. So I guess they built a lot of the kind of area that you want to just sit and relax. They thought, well, let's put tables and chairs there and make it a restaurant, which makes sense. It's a really cool little area, I like it. One thing I always do, which you might think you don't want to do when you're here on holiday, but hear me out, is using the water taps at the restaurants, because they all have like enough space for you to fill up a water bottle. You can also get some paper cups if you ask for them. And the reason you might want to do this, even if you don't mind paying for drinks all day, is that there's no queue. It's easy to just walk in and fill up your bottle, whereas we have a lot of vending machines now, which is great, but even those get quite a long queue and you have to wait. So this is really quick and easy. Well, Happy New Year, guys. My goal for 2023 was to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and start making ad money. For those who don't know, once you reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 4,000 watch hours, you can start to make ad revenue from YouTube. And that's what I'm doing now. So I should be able to come to the parks a lot more often. And it's all thanks to you watching my channel and liking and subscribing and especially sharing my videos with your friends. So thank you so much. And 2024 is going to be a huge year. We've got Fantasy Springs, we've got Donkey Kong coming to USJ, Space Mountain's last day here. It's going to be an awesome year, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you. So really, sincerely, thank you so much, and let's have another great year. So let's try this curry and see if it's just a normal Japanese curry or if it's something kind of special. It's a very nice Japanese curry. Oh, I forgot to mention, you could ask for mild or spicy. I went for the spicy one. It's only a little bit spicy, it's nothing crazy, but it's cool that you have the option. For those of you who are not into spicy food, my mum, if you're watching, I know you're not, but I'm always telling her that Japanese curries are not spicy. They're not like Indian curries at all. They're just tasty. They're almost more like a gravy. I don't know, but they're very, very good. So if you're here and you're a little bit picky, try a Japanese curry. You might surprise yourself. Let's try some of the chicken then. So there's some tandoori chicken and the Mickey egg. Very strange. I don't know how they do that. And somehow miraculously tastes like an egg. And then the Hamburg steak. Again, this is all like very typical stuff that you find here anyway. So I feel like some people come here from abroad and they come here and have this curry and they're blown away. But if you go to Koko Ichiban, you're gonna have basically the same thing. Koko Ichiban is like a curry chain here in Japan. But hey, if you're coming here and you're spending most of your time at Disney and you want to try a Japanese curry, this is a pretty good one. I like it. That was really nice, actually. I did enjoy that a lot. I do think I prefer the curries in Disney Sea, and gosh, what's it called? In Arabian Coast, they have a curry shop. Anyway, they do a really nice one. You get like a full length of tandoori chicken, and then the rice is like in the middle of the bowl, and on each side you have like a mild and medium curry, which I always found funny because like don't mild and medium basically mean the same thing. But the nice thing with that is you get two different types of curry in one dish. But this was good. I enjoyed it. It's kind of funny. I always said that I would never do exactly what I'm doing now. Like, I always said I would never want to stick a camera in my face while I'm eating and just be like, yeah, it's nice, yeah, it's okay. Because like, I'm not a food critic, I don't know. I'm a grown man who comes to theme parks on his own. Like, who am I to say what's delicious and what's not? But some people really enjoy that kind of thing, and hey, I'm going to be eating anyway, so I may as well share it with you. Which might surprise some of you, but like, I'm just looking at the app, and I'm really missing Haunted Mansion. Like, Beauty and the Beast I can do without, but Haunted Mansion, it just leaves such a big gap in the park lineup, I feel like. Which I guess will surprise people, because Beauty and the Beast is like the big new thing, but maybe that's why. Like, one, I'm not used to it being here. It hasn't always been here when I've been here. And two, it's always really busy. Like, there's a lot of times I come here and I don't ride it because it'll have like a 3-hour wait all day. And I don't want to pay an extra 2,000 yen per person for a ride I've already done a bunch of times. You know, especially when I know I can come on a quieter day and get right on. But yeah, Haunted Mansion, it's like, it's Haunted Mansion. Anyway, I've done Pirates and Splash Mountain, so that's not bad going. I might like do some Fantasyland stuff. Ooh, you know what I'll do? I'm at the Hungry Bear restaurant. Why don't I go and see the Country Bears afterwards? I'm gonna do that. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Oh, especially, and that's timely as well, isn't it? Because Magic Kingdoms is closing on, was it the 27th? Magic Kingdoms are closing there, so when you watch this, there's a good chance that not only is Splash Mountain the only in Tokyo Disneyland, but the real Country Bear show is also only in Tokyo Disneyland. Crazy stuff. I wonder if ours will ever go. I suspect not. Like, it's not massively popular here, but it does okay. And like, what else are you going to do with that space? Have like a Fantasyland style dark ride in Western Land? I don't see that happening. Anyway, yeah, let's go see Big Al. Little pigeon. Where are you going? So if you listen to the podcast, you'll have heard me talk a few times before about the smoothie cocktail in the summer and the hot cocoa in the winter. And the funny thing that me and Alex talk about is how this place basically only sells an alcoholic beverage all day. But they close at like 4:30 p.m. So right now they're doing bourbon hot cocoa, which sounds like a perfect thing to have in the evening, right? It's warm, alcoholic, something that's going to keep you warm for maybe watch the nighttime parade with. But you can't, because the place closes at 4:30. So I'm going to grab one now. It's a little bit chilly. I mean, I may as well because it's going to be closed soon. Okay, so I finally got my hot bourbon cocktail. Although I mean, I guess these are edible, but they really do just look like little pieces of foil. So I hope they're okay. Well, let's give it a whirl. Oh, that's nice. You can't really taste the whiskey in there. It really just tastes like a hot chocolate with marshmallows in the top. But yeah, it's yummy anyway. Yeah, this will be a lovely thing to warm me through because it's got a little bit cloudy now. So I'll sit here and the parade's going to start. I guess this announcement's probably saying it's starting in 30 minutes. So I've got a pretty nice spot just near Haunted Mansion. It starts near Haunted Mansion as well, so that means I'll be able to get off while a lot of people are still watching the parade, maybe hop on something in Fantasyland with a short wait. Normally I would do Haunted Mansion, but it's closed. Oh well. Anyway. Oh, 15 minutes. Perfect. There we go. Okay, I guess I didn't mix it very well because now I'm a little bit into it and I suddenly like I had a shot of whiskey. So yeah, they definitely put some in there. Oh gosh, it's pretty strong. I quite like whiskey, but that's it's surprising how strong they make them there. It was the same with the cocktails as well, because they just make a apple smoothie and then just pre-pour a load of whiskey on the top. So you're walking through, this is what I said on the podcast, you're walking through these crowds of people waiting for the parade and you just stink of whiskey because you're basically carrying around a cup of neat whiskey. And the place closes at 4 p.m. You can't even get one in the evening. 11 a.m. whiskey, totally fine. 5 p.m. whiskey, what are you, some kind of monster? It's really funny. I really like that parade. It's just like got a lot of energy and it's really fun and has some more modern stuff than we usually have, which is nice. And it's just cool, like the big floats and some of the costumes, like the Clawhauser costume from Zootopia is awesome. And I love the little, whatever they're called. I haven't watched Up for ages. The little bird chick things and the eggs and the little wings are going. It's adorable. One thing here is people always say how great it is that everybody sits down for the parades, and it is really cool because it means, you know, the people at the front get to see, people can stand up behind them. But oh, I've got pins and needles for sitting still. I mean, today was okay because today is January, today's not so busy, so I could kind of move my legs and shuffle my position around a little bit. But sometimes you're like really wedged in and you can't move at all. But yeah, I've got pins and needles now. I need to walk that off a little bit. I'm next to Big Thunder Mountain now, so I'm just gonna check if they have single rider. Like I said earlier, I don't think they do, but I'll go ask them now and get back to you. Yeah, they don't have it. It's a real shame because I always liked the system here because, I mean, I don't like that they used to have it on 2 rides at each park and now they have it on no rides here and just 2 rides at Disney Sea. But the thing I always liked was because it's like they don't have like a big sign saying single rider, you have to ask them for it. And so a lot of people just didn't. So Big Thunder Mountain, you always got straight on. Splash Mountain, you normally waited like 5 minutes, but the waits were really, really short. So it's a shame they're not doing that anymore. I really wish they would. So I was near Camp Woodchuck, so I thought I'd come around and see the tri-crested Tittertwirl. For those who watched my Hidden Secrets video, one of my Hidden Secrets videos, you'll know that that's this guy here. And for so long, I was coming here and I never went down this path because it's the path for the Donald Duck meet and greet and I was never normally interested. So I never came down here. And then I was going down the Rivers of America on the Mark Twain and I saw this little animatronic. I was like, what? There's an animatronic back there. And yeah, so you can see here is the big tree stump. And then you go inside and you can see the little buddy. Here he is, look, oh, he's asleep. He's sleeping, look at him. He's sleeping. So I've been waiting here a little while. I didn't realize how long he slept for. I thought he kind of opened his eyes quite a lot, which kind of makes it even cooler, right? That it's like most people are, even if you do find it, most people are just going to walk straight past thinking he never opens his eyes, but actually he does. Oh, there we go. I love that thing. This is by far the nicest part of this park. Western Land and Critter Country kind of just make this big area. I think it's because it's the only part that really has like natural beauty, like a lot of greenery and rock work and a big open waterway. Like, I love the rides in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland, but they're not places that you really want to just like sit and relax. Whereas Disney Sea is full of that stuff. Any land in that park, apart from maybe Port Discovery, any of the other ones, I would be so happy to just sit there and chill for hours and hours. But Disneyland, while it has way more rides and fun stuff to do, and the day goes super quickly, there just aren't really so many of those places to sit and chill. But look at that view. Look at that. It's beautiful. So speaking of this being the more pretty side of the park, I decided Jungle Cruise is just a 10-minute wait. And I want to make a video soon about my top 10 special effects at the park. And that actually has one of them. The finale has this gorgeous projection mapping scene, which isn't going to be high up the list, but it's going to be on there. So, hey, 10 minutes. I figured I'd go over there and do that. I think the Western River Railroad was 5 minutes right next to it. They actually share the same station and queue building, which is really cool. Like I said, people are still there after the first parade. They weren't waiting for the first parade, they're waiting for the next one. So I'm hoping I can just sneak up like after my Pooh Fast Pass, so like half an hour before the parade starts. I know I'm not gonna get the best view. One, because I haven't got a DPA, so I haven't paid to have the best view. And two, because you see how devoted people are here, and I'm just No, I'm not. I'm not willing to wait all day by the parade view. What I'm hoping is I can stand behind the people sitting down, and I'll get a fine view because I'm tall enough, and if the people in front of you are sitting down, you get a perfect view anyway. So I'm hoping that's going to work out. We'll see. Oh, I'm glad I've already had curry today because the smell from that curry popcorn is so strong whenever I walk through here. Not many of the popcorn smells really grab me like that, but the curry one always does. The curry and the, garlic shrimp at Disney Sea. Those ones just always make me want to buy it. But I haven't brought a popcorn bucket today, and I refuse to pay like 400 yen for a box and 500 yen for a refill. But the refill is like double the size of the box, and I refuse to I refuse to pay when I know I could get double for just a little bit more if I had my refill bucket with me. So no popcorn for me today. This bugs me because they opened it after COVID. It's not like it's been closed since COVID. They opened it and then they closed it for refurb, and the rumors go that they couldn't find anyone to sponsor it. So because they can't find someone to sponsor it, they're just not gonna pay whatever it would cost to refurbish it themselves. Like, just open the thing. Of course no sponsors want to sponsor some, like, the most unpopular attraction in the park. Just get it done. It's embarrassing.
ください。雄大なアフリカの大草原。もう気に入ってしまうわ。みんな心配そうじゃないですか。そういうことだ。私の記憶さ。私がお守り忘れちゃったばっかり。そういうお知り合いいません。私はジャングル、もしかしたらジャングルの守り神を祀る伝説の神殿かもしれません。あそこを見てください。プレーありがとう。サム、実はこのお守り彼から買ったんですよ。で、サム、このお守り本物だった。
I think I owe Jungle Cruise an apology. In my ride rankings video, I put it at like 14 or something, but it just struck me while I was on it then. Like, this morning, I took the train, my wife was going to work, and she was coming this way, so I took the same train at the same time as her. I never get to do that, so it was kind of cool to spend a little bit of time with her. So I went all the way through Tokyo City. Obviously, it's the capital of Japan. It's a very dense urban area. And then you get off a train and you're at Disneyland. And like, I was just on a boat ride through the jungle, completely surrounded by trees, totally immersed in this other world. And like 5 minutes on a train away, you're in the middle of the city. It's crazy what they managed to build here, and they just transport you into this other world. And yeah, Jungle Cruise is great. I was too harsh on it. I think the reason I always feel like that is because the animatronics are kind of not great, and you know, compared to like an indoor dark ride, it doesn't have the same artistry to the environments, right? But somebody grew all those trees. Somebody planted them all, and they decided where they would all be, and they keep them trimmed and everything. It's all still serving the story. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's great. I'm gonna head on to Western River Railroad next. So like I said, you can see here. Here is where's my hand? Here is Jungle Cruise, and here is Western River Railroad. The Western River Railroad queue is up here, and the Jungle Cruise queue is down here. So it's really cool how they all kind of share one big building. Yeah, somebody on Twitter said that they wanted to see some Western River Railroad, and the queue's 5 minutes, so let's go.
For a safe journey, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet.
左の方に滝が流れている山が見えますか？あれが城主。それに多くの開拓者がこの町
ちに立ち寄って生活に必要なものを買ったり食事や音楽実はこの山の周りでは
I do like Western River Railroad, but there's one problem with it. The right side and the left side are not balanced at all. So I was just on the left, and for like the whole first half of the ride, you're just looking at a fence. Because the railroad here, it goes right on the border of the park. Like, you can see Xperi, the shopping district. You can see it. And if you can't see it, you're just looking at like a fence that's right there. They tried to hide it with some bamboo, but it doesn't really work. So you're seeing that for the first half, while the other side is seeing bits of Jungle Cruise and the Western River and Tom Sawyer Island. And then when you get to Splash Mountain, you can see Splash Mountain, which is cool. And you can see Big Thunder Mountain, which is nice. And then you go inside for the finale, where you see the dinosaur dioramas, and they're all on the right side as well. So if you're on the left, you do kind of feel shortchanged. But because I often come here on my own, I'll find a two to just stick you in with. So you normally get put on the left. So I think I'm going to ask to be on the right next time. They're very good at accommodating you if you ask about where you want to sit. So I'm sure they'll do that for me. So now my Fast Pass, I refuse to say 40th anniversary special priority pass because one, it is ridiculous, and two, Fast Pass is just such a good name. Anyway, my Fast Pass for Pooh's Honey Hunt is available right now. So I'm gonna go over there, ride that, and then I'll try and find a spot for the parade. It's a little bit funny because there's 3 stops. So like right now I'm walking through parts of where the parade's gonna come, and there's nobody. But that's because the parade's not gonna stop here. It's gonna stop by the castle hub. So those areas are where everybody's waiting, because that's where it's not really a parade, it's more of a show that's on parade floats, I guess you could think of it as. But either way, I'm hoping I can just stand at the back and get a decent view of that after Honey Hunt, and then after that rush over to Space Mountain and use my Fast Pass for that. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned I got one for Monsters Inc. as well. So I can use it for Monsters Inc. later. So that's a pretty good day. And then hopefully squeeze in some Fantasyland rides in the middle. I'd like to do Roger Rabbit today, because another special effect I talked earlier about, I want to do a special effects video, right? Another special effect I want to do is the portable hole, because I love that one, it's classic. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to see the night parade today. I might use that time for other things, because when it was busy here in Halloween and Christmas, I had a pretty good view of the nighttime parade. Oh goodness, I didn't know that was here. There's something for Wish, which sounds like a normal thing if you're in the American parks, but we don't normally do like promotional things for new movies because the Tokyo Disney parks are not owned and operated by Disney, they're owned and operated by Oriental Land Company, so they don't really have an incentive to promote the movies unless Disney pay them to, which I guess is what's happened here. Oh, yeah, I've always felt like the American parks, especially in California, they're really like alive, like things are changing all the time. And like with every new movie release, you're gonna have new characters and little photo ops and things like that. But they're actually pretty rare here, so that was kind of cool. Ooh, I just spotted, you can see the Peter Pan Neverland Mountains from Fantasy Springs, and they have smoke coming out of the top. I haven't seen that before. That's really cool. Wow, I remember back when, in like 2021, when the parks were really sad, and Disney Sea, they weren't even having smoke coming out of the volcano or out of SS Columbia, out of the ship. So we were thinking, oh no, what if they've put these smoke machines in there and they're never gonna use them? But hey, you can see it. I am so excited for Fantasy Springs, but I'm also so scared that I'm gonna wait all night on opening day and then not get in. I just hope they do something like where you buy your ticket, you know you're getting in or something, but that's what the hotel's for, isn't it? That's why they're charging so much for the hotel and the special tickets you can only buy if you stay in the hotel. Oh, it's craziness. But hey, when I do eventually get in there, it's gonna be very exciting. I just don't know when I'm gonna actually get in. Okay, let's go. World's first trackless dark ride, and probably one of the best. I mean, I haven't done Rise of the Resistance. That's probably pretty good, isn't it? But I think I prefer Mystic Manor to this, but other than that, it's probably my favorite. Let's go. You've got to love the big book. The only problem is you just wish you could go in there and take a photo from here, but it's completely impossible because this is the queue and that's also the queue, so you can't really stay and clog up either part, but it's so cool, isn't it? Pooh's Honey Hunt is just so good, isn't it? It really is. Like, every room is just so different from every other one. You can really tell that, like, because they'd just come up with the trackless ride system, right? You could tell they were so excited with all the possibilities, so they just tried to do so many different things. Whereas now I think it's kind of taken for granted a bit. Like, they'll use like one or two kind of gimmicks that it can do. Whereas with that ride, every room is kind of using a different gimmick. Like the first room's using the idea that, hey, these vehicles can spread out and go different ways. And then you have the jumping up and down thing, which is just crazy. And then them all stopping and looking at a scene together. And then the Heffalump scene just goes nuts. And even has my favorite thing, the trackless vehicle that's got Heffalumps and Woozles in it. What a fantastic idea. And then the last room, and it all smells like honey. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about. So, as I talked about earlier, Tokyo Disney are renowned for having really reliable animatronics and effects and everything because they close things regularly for maintenance. One thing that is always not working, or so people say, is at the end of Pooh's Honey Hunt, there's a giant book, and it's supposed to be like the book is closing as the story comes to an end, right? I saw it work like sometimes a little bit, and I always assumed, because the vehicles are stacking back there, which we just did, I assumed that like the effect didn't trigger properly, because if there's a vehicle already there, it's not gonna like suddenly spring back open and then close shut again. But someone on Twitter said, oh, it's fixed, and they showed a video of it opening and closing the other day. But I just did it, it didn't move. And I think it's just that when the vehicles stack up like that, nothing like triggers the effect, or it doesn't have time to reset before the next vehicles come. A few rides have that kind of problem. Snow White has that problem here as well. There's just too many vehicles on the track. Like, yeah, you get more people through it, and because that's an older ride, that's not even designed to have like good stopping points. So you'll just stop looking at a wall and then turn around and she'll scream at you, and then you stop looking at another wall. And it's like, it really takes away from it, considering that ride in total is like 2 minutes long anyway. If half of that time you're spending just looking at the wall, it's not great. So that's something I wish they would fix here. Less vehicles on the tracks, guys. In fact, you know what? Talking about Snow White, let's just do it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I 100% guarantee it will happen, because it happens every single time. Never mind, Snow White's 20 minutes, which is a bit long, and I actually forgot I have my Space Mountain Fast Pass up now, right? So I was going to try and rush over there after the parade, but I think I might try and squeeze it in before. So I'm going to head over there and try and quickly whiz round on it. Because I keep forgetting the parade's at 3:45. I keep thinking it's 3 for some reason. No, I really enjoy coming here on my own, but I feel a bit guilty not coming with my wife and daughter, and I always miss them so much whenever I walk past this ride, because I don't care about it that much. I'm not going to do it on my own, but they absolutely love it, and we always dance through the queue and look like idiots, and yeah, I always miss them when I walk past this one. I'm really going to miss this ride when it's gone. I mean, yeah, we're getting a new one, which is super exciting, but we're going to not have any Space Mountain for 2 years. 3 years. The new one's opening in 2027, right? I really hope we get a new escalator. That would just be such a cool nod to this one. I really am curious as to how different it's going to be. I mean, obviously it's going to be a brand new coaster, and it's probably going to use some new technology and new effects, and it's going to have a launch, I imagine, because what Disney coaster doesn't have a launch these days? But I really hope they go like all the way with the space thing and make it really kind of Epcot-y, and yeah, it's really exciting. I also wonder if it's going to have like a subheading or something, like Space Mountain 2. I mean, they have to call it something, right? They can't just give it the same name or people will think it's the same ride. Love seeing Disney Sea from here. It always makes me wish I was coming back tomorrow, or I had my annual pass again and I could just go over there right now. Bah. I'm gonna miss that. It's so good. There's just something so great about it's really dark and it's really quiet, and it's like eerie because it's so quiet, and also because it's so dark. It feels so fast. It feels really fast. Describing to my viewers what Space Mountain is like, as if you don't know. No, because I think because I got used to Hyperspace Mountain in Hong Kong, and then like Tron in Shanghai, and a lot of the newer ones, they're a lot brighter, right? Because they want you to see things, which is great. But there's something just so cool about it being really dark. You're having these tiny little pinpoint stars, which sort of emphasize the speed, right? Because they give you a reference point. But because it's so tiny, they just seem to zoom by. And oh yeah, it's so good. I'm really gonna miss it. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna whiz through the hub and just check if there's any space there I can stand to see the show in front of the castle, because that seems to be like the main viewing spot. I'm just gonna see if I can get a spot there so you guys can have a good view, and then if not, I'll just walk along the route and see where I can stand and get a nice spot for it. Okay, I managed to get this spot, which looks great this way, but I'm not going to be able to see the parade that way. I'm going to see it over here. But still, I'm right in the middle. I know it's not going to stop, or maybe it is going to stop here. I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're going to get a pretty good video out of this, so cool, I'm happy. I just realized I've had like a little bit of hot chocolate on the bridge of my nose since I had the hot chocolate like 3 hours ago. So that's a little bit embarrassing that most of this vlog is me with some chocolate on my face. But there you go. I knew something was going to go wrong today. Well, that was fun. That was basically exactly what you would expect from a mini parade. All the floats are basically the same, right? And then I imagine for the next Palapalooza, they're basically going to take all those pink ribbons off. The gold trim is going to stay, and then we're just going to have like some slightly different decorations on there. But people really enjoyed it. It used a lot of songs from previous mini shows, which people really like, and it's just fun to see something new here. You know, it feels really fresh, and it's obviously very energetic, which was really fun. you know, it doesn't hold a candle to like Christmas Stories or Spooky Boo, but it doesn't have to. It's a small event and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. And now I can relax because I filmed it. I was worried that my storage might run out on my phone or something, but and I've been worried all day that I wouldn't get a good view. So I was very happy with that view. I do feel like, you know, like the people the opposite side of the parade route, they were DPA, so they paid, and we didn't. And it's basically the same view. Like, I really think if you're not super crazy about these things, just turn up and like just watch them casually. Then again, today is not very busy. I'm very curious to see how many people turn out for this at the weekend. That'll be really interesting to see. Anyway, I'm hungry. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. I'm not sure where. Okay, I think I figured it out. I was gonna go to China Voyager because that's another one on my checklist that I haven't been to before, but I really don't fancy ramen. The app says it's a 10-minute wait, but I feel like once people get over there from the parade, it's always the busiest counter service. I don't know why. Maybe their ramen's really good. I don't know, but when I come to Disneyland, I'm not in the mood for ramen. You know what I am in the mood for is Gaston's, so I'm gonna go there. I've spent a lot of time in Westernland and Adventureland today anyway. I'm kind of this side now, so, and I wanna go somewhere where I can have a drink and also have some good food. And I love their meat pie. I might get the hunter's pie, or the French toast sandwich is really good. Lots of options. And I'm not sure what, so they always have beer, but they normally have another alcoholic drink as well. I think they have hot wine right now, which sounds pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna head to Gaston's. I love it over there. And also I do want to take a little look at Beauty and the Beast because it's closed. I mean, I'm quite sure there's just some shrubs in front of it and a sign that says it's closed. There's nothing that exciting, but you know, when I'm getting all of this B-roll, I'm just like building up this huge portfolio of B-rolls. And you never know when you might want a sign saying Beauty and the Beast is closed. Could come up in the future. When I'm editing these videos, I always find I want the strangest things and you would never think of them at the time. So I really feel like I should just film everything when I get the chance, you know, especially stuff like that. That's, you only get this little opportunity to record it. Speaking of which, I need to remember to get lots of footage of this thing. It's gonna come so fast, isn't it? Just July 31st. Man, it's crazy. The first Space Mountain to be gone. I was at the first Buzz Lightyear to close. I'm right next to Buzz Lightyear now. I was at the first Buzz Lightyear to close in Hong Kong Disneyland. I'm gonna be at the first Space Mountain to close as well. I was actually, this is how super nerdy I am. I was actually in the last Buzz Lightyear vehicle at Hong Kong Disneyland ever. I was there with a couple of friends who liked it, but you know, they were my friends. They weren't like theme park people. They got in the one in front of me, and then there was me and this other woman who I'd seen at the park so many times. She was obviously a super fan, and we both agreed to share the last vehicle together. Really special moment. I love last days. I've done that last day, and I also did the corkscrew at Alton Towers, which a lot of you watching this probably won't know, but it was a big Vekoma coaster in the 80s. It was a really big deal. And when they, going on that on closing day was great. It was really funny actually, because the funny thing with closing days is, like on an opening day, everyone rushes to be the first on, right? But on a closing day, everybody waits to be the last on, but they have to close the queue at some point, right? And it was really funny because well, there was a big group of us at the entrance of Corkscrew. This happened at Buzz as well, but Corkscrew was funny because there was a big group of us and we're all like, you go first, and it started out kind of like a fun little joke, like, haha, you go in front, no, it's okay, after you. And then after a while, it was like the staff were like, we will have to close the queue at some point, you know, if you don't get in now, then you're not getting in, and tensions were getting high. And finally, my mum was the first person, I don't know why nobody else thought of it, but she thought to count everyone. And she counted everyone, and she was like, you can all get on the last train, you idiots. And we did, we all fit on the last train, but before that we spent like 15 minutes trying to let everyone else go in front. But they're just so special goodbyes. They're, they're not exciting like an opening is, but they're just really special. So I am looking forward to that. even though it will be sad to see it go. So there it is, Beauty and the Closed Beast. Yeah, this is why, I know I said it at the start of this video, I'm gonna say it again. This might be my catchphrase, actually. It might end up being my catchphrase is, check the ride closures before you come, please. I just remember seeing these big YouTubers who came here and they went to Disney Sea, and Tower of Terror and Journey to the Center of the Earth were closed. Two of the best rides in the park, and they're closed. They would have known that if they checked, and they were like, they didn't want any spoilers, which I respect. I always try to go into things without spoilers as well, but checking the ride closures isn't a spoiler, guys. Like, check the ride closures. I just went the wrong way because I'm used to going around all the overflow queue because this place is normally round, and I just walked right through. The cast member had to tell me, no, you don't have to walk all the way around. Yeah, I was just about to get the camera out just to say, like, it's just so nice after being here when it was so crowded to just wait 5 minutes to get food. I'm so glad it's January again. It's a shame. I hope, I don't know what I hope. I hope that next Halloween and next Christmas aren't so crowded, I guess. I hope that they run the parades twice so they gobble up crowds. I hope that they have more roaming entertainment so that gobbles up crowds. I don't know, it's very strange because capacity is halved since COVID, but the parks feel busier than ever on busy days. So they must be able to do something, but I'm not sure what exactly, other than what I just suggested. I mean, maybe that makes the big difference, I don't know. The other thing is annual passes. When you had annual passes, yes, a lot of people come to the parks, but they weren't interested in getting on all the rides and doing everything and turning up at 7 a.m. and leaving when the park closes, you know? We would just come in the afternoon, casually, have a snack, go on a couple of rides, watch a parade, and go home. Whereas now everybody wants to do everything, so it gets crazy. Anyway, it's so nice being here in January. Check the ride closures, and if they're okay, come in January. This is lovely. Okay, so I got the Hunter's Pie set, which comes with fries, and I changed the drink to a beer. They had the hot wine, like I said, but I don't know, I felt like it. And I always sit outside here, so I thought I would sit inside. There's some really cool details, which I will probably film and put over me talking right now instead, so. As a Brit, sometimes I just need some pastry with some meat in the middle. I don't know how good this would be to someone visiting, but living in Tokyo, it's really nice to have a nice flaky pastry with meat in the middle. So I just did it right now. The thing I was just talking about, I just did it. Like, when I was an annual pass, okay, so I finished my meal pretty quickly. I was more hungry than I realized, actually. And I was like, oh, this is nice. I could just sit here for a while. But then I thought, oh no, I want to go and make the most of my day. I mean, it's also that I want to film a lot. I always come here trying to film way more than I actually can in one day, which is a bit stressful, but I'm starting to learn how much I can really do. But also it's because I'm not an annual pass holder, right? If they had annual passes and I knew I could come back any time without having to pay again, I would have probably sat in there for a while. And what does that mean? Well, that means I'm not getting in the queue for a ride, I'm not getting in the queue for something else, I'm taken care of, right? And there used to be a lot of annual pass holders here, which is crazy considering they were really expensive. They were the price of like 13 full price day tickets. And you got zero perks, zero, nothing. They're like, you can come in, that's it. The blackout days were pretty good. I think there were only like 10 blackout days throughout the year. And still people bought them. People bought them so much. No hotel discounts, no merch discounts. It didn't matter. People were just crazy to come here. And they meant a lot to people. And the really crazy thing is they could bring them back, they could make them double the price that they used to be, still have no perks. And people would be like, thank you so much. The fan base would go absolutely crazy and they'd be so happy. But in their latest financial report, they said they are not expected to return. And it's like, well, you're the ones deciding. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't expect it to return? It's your choice, right? But yeah, that's just one example of how having annual passes actually made the crowds better, not worse. It has really surprised me. I really thought, okay, you get rid of annual passes, crowds are going to be lower, right? But counterintuitively, that was not the case. Anyway, it's getting dark, so it's time to get some dusk and nighttime shots, I think. Another thing I often grumble about changing since COVID was that the parks used to close at 10 and now they close at 9. And the reason this annoys me so much isn't just because we're paying more for less, although that does annoy me. The parks are so pretty at night time. And I'm starting to think, even though it is chilly, January might, and there's a lot of ride closures, check the ride closures, January might be my most recommended time to come because you get more nighttime Disney. The parks look the best at night. If you come in January, like it's 5 o'clock now and it's dark. So I'm gonna have 4 hours until the park closes in the dark. Whereas in the summer you get like an hour and a half. It really feels like your nights are short in the summer. Anyway, I'm heading over to Roger Rabbit now, and I'm realizing as it gets dark, my camera doesn't hold up so great. So I might just sign off soon. Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching and subscribing and liking. Like I said, last year my goal was 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just so happy to reach that. And this year I just want to make great videos and get them out frequently. So if you have anything you want to see, if you enjoyed this vlog, because this is my first time vlogging, this was kind of new to me, although I've had a lot of fun, so I hope people like it because I'd like to keep doing these. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. I just realized I can actually use my rear camera instead, and that might look better at nighttime, so maybe I can keep filming. It might actually help me as well, because when I use the front camera, I always end up looking at myself. The only weird thing is, I'm just realizing now that I'm now walking around with like a TV in front of my face, recording my face. So everyone that sees me is gonna see my phone with my face on it. I really want to get a, what are they called? DJI Omni? Something like that. Little handheld camera that has face tracking. And you just hold it out and you don't even have to think about it. Definitely want to pick one of those up at some point because I've really enjoyed doing this vlog and I definitely want to do more of them. I really hope people like it. I really hope people want to watch them because these are really fun to make. I can totally see the appeal. And as you'll have seen from that last video, I obviously was holding the camera way down here. So maybe it is better to be able to see my own face. Who'd have thought? I'm gonna go into Goofy's Paint and Playhouse next. Again, for the special effects video I'm working on. And also just because I love it, because it reminds me of innovations at Epcot. Just somewhere with this like small interactive thing with not really much of a wait. Not a huge payoff either. Just something small and interesting and fun, which we don't really have that much of here. We have like a lot of rides, and we have a lot of really, like at Disney Sea, we have a lot of really beautiful walkthrough things, but we don't have so many kind of, like a little bit crappy kind of just small silly things. So I really like this, and I normally give it a go when I'm here because it always has the shortest wait in the park. I'm really thrown off because normally this is the queue, but because the queue's, it's always really short, but I guess because it's super short, they switched the queue and the exit, so I'm really thrown off. But anyway, yeah, I love that little thing. It's just a fun little game that you can play, you know? Like, so much of the appeal of Toy Story Mania and Buzz Lightyear is that it's interactive, and they get really big queues, especially Toy Story Mania here, if you don't know. It's 12 years old now, but it still gets 2-hour-long queues most days. It's crazy. So it's nice to have that interactive game experience in a way that you can only have here, you know, with all the projection mapping and everything. but not have to wait ages to do it. So I love that. I always go in there, and I recommend it. Now, as I'm going to go over to Boiler Room Bites, which is, if you watched one of my other Hidden Secrets videos, I talked about it has the sign 20,000 leaks on the ship, but for some reason it's called Boiler Room Bites instead. I don't know. They're doing an Ukiwa Man, which is like, they started it, it's evolved a lot, it's kind of hard to explain now, come to think of it, because it started at Disney Sea, and it's like a inflatable ring, but it's a steamed bun. It's an inflatable ring shaped steamed bun. And then for the 40th anniversary, they did a special one with Mickey ears. So it doesn't really look like an inflatable ring anymore, but it kind of does. So they still call it an inflatable ring steamed bun. Anyway, my wife really wanted one when we were here at Christmas, but it was so busy. That thing had like an hour-long wait all day. So she didn't get one. So I want to give her a surprise and pick one up. It's right at the other side of the park, but it's so funny. Like, they're both roughly the same size, but just from the way they're designed, you know, Disneyland obviously has the hub and spoke thing. I'm literally going the complete opposite side of the park, but I don't feel like that's a big deal, and it won't take me that long. Whereas Disney Sea, even if you want to get halfway across the park, it feels like so far, and it kind of is. I think it's down to a few things, like, one is the verticality. There's a lot more up and down there, whereas Disneyland's basically flat. Also, just the park is designed where you kind of meander a lot, whereas the hub and spoke thing is it's so quick and easy to get where you want to go, right? I think the last thing as well is a psychological thing of just, because there's so much detail everywhere at Disney Sea, you feel like you've taken in so much information going from one place to another that your brain kind of feels more exhausted. Everyone I talk to says that they feel more tired after a Disney Sea day, even if they sit around, you know, in the bars or whatever a lot. I think it's just that bombardment of your senses all the time. I think that's why a lot of people who don't live here find it surprising when people who do live here, like me, say that we come to Disneyland more often. And yes, there's more rides and it's less queuing, which is part of the reason, but also, and it's the nostalgia as well, let's be honest. But also it just feels a bit easier and a bit more light. I don't know. It's like you can breathe a bit more here. Although, I mean, OLC aren't helping lately by just not having any events at Disney Sea. I mean, this event was really fun. Perfectly timed for what I'm talking about, see the decorations. This event was great fun. It's a cute little event, it's a lot of fun. But it was laughable when they announced it, because it's like, okay, another thing that's coming to Disneyland and nothing for Disney Sea. And it's just like a joke at this point. Well, while I was there, I figured I'd pick up another beer and just have a little rest. Been walking around all day. You know, I woke up at 6:40 to get here. I mean, I'm extremely lucky in a way. Like, I chose to live here, but still, I am extremely lucky to live so close to here. I just mean, like, it didn't happen by accident, you know? Like, I came here on purpose. But I am so lucky to have had that opportunity, to have been able to do that. I don't live, like, super close, so it does take me a little while. I was thinking, like, when I had an annual pass, I would just come for the afternoon most of the time. I very rarely got here when the park opened. Very rarely. But now I do. I mean, it's partly because of you as well. It's partly because I want to film more stuff, right? And I want to make the most of my day in terms of what I can film. Because there's so much, it's crazy. Like, I kind of thought if I spent like 3 or 4 days of filming stuff in the park, I would have all the footage I needed to make like any video I wanted. But it's not true. Because I'll start making a video about extinct attractions, like remnants of extinct attractions. And I don't have footage of, so today I've been filming the old Skyway station that's been in Tomorrowland for ages, which they're finally getting rid of with the new Space Mountain. But yeah, it's surprising how much time it takes to get all the footage that you need. And then you get home and you're like, you realize the one thing you didn't film is what you want. You know, even in one ride, there's so much to film, right? Like something like Pirates of the Caribbean, there's so much to film just in that one ride, let alone an entire park full of restaurants and shop, all of the outdoor architecture and everything. But I'm having so much fun doing it. It's great. She's a very pretty castle, isn't she? You know, for all the complaints we've had about the 40th, the castle decorations are probably my favorite thing. And twinkly, look how twinkly they are. Twinkling. Yeah, I really don't know. They're doing the Dreamlights announcement now. I really don't know whether to watch it or not. Obviously, we all love the electrical parade. You know, it's funny. Some of you might have recently seen Disneyland Paris started to have the Sky Parade? Electrical Sky Parade? Something like that. But it's a drone show based on the electrical parade. And I'm watching the video, I was like, oh, that looks so amazing. I'm like, but we have the real one. Like, would I trade the real one for that? Probably not. Still blows my mind that Tokyo is the only Disney park with a nighttime parade right now. Like, how is that possible? Nighttime parades are synonymous with Disney parks, so I definitely feel incredibly lucky to have that. I guess I'll head into Fantasyland. I want to film some stuff there. I might pop on Pinocchio or something if the lines are short. Yeah, let's go to Fantasyland. I think because we're so used to it and it's so familiar, it's really easy to forget that Millie's PhilharMagic is such a rug pull. Like, it looks like a Mickey show where you're gonna see Mickey, and then you spend the whole thing with Donald. You see Mickey for like 5 seconds. Really funny. I don't know why exactly, but Pinocchio always has the shortest wait. So right now, Snow White's 15, Peter Pan's 20. This is just 5. So I always like to get on at least one Fantasyland dark ride, and this was never that special to me, which is why I made my first 8-bit theme park video about this ride. And ever since making that, it's really, really special to me because I spent so long studying every little detail. And now when I ride it, I really appreciate it. And I don't know, it has a special place in my heart. I still prefer Snow White though. I always enjoy Pinocchio. Like I said, ever since I made the pixel art thing, but also it's just nice to get on a little Fantasyland cart, isn't it? Speaking of which, I think that has inspired me to hit Snow White as well, which, like I said, is my favorite of the two. I will get the pixel art Snow White ride done eventually, okay? I have started working on it, but the thing is, it's just really hard to incentivize myself when I can make videos about Tokyo Disney and it's so much quicker, and some of them reach a much broader audience, and people seem to really enjoy them. So I will do the Snow White one eventually, but I'm gonna be doing a lot more Tokyo Disney videos first. I love Snow White's Adventures. It's so clunky and old and creepy, but yeah, it's great. You'll see in the clips that what I was talking about earlier, how it stops when you're looking at nothing and then moves when something's happening and then stops when nothing's happening again. I was thinking while I was on it, like, if they upgraded it with projectors and everything, would I be excited? Yeah, I would. If they changed it to Enchanted Wish, like in California, would I be excited? Yeah, I would. But I do love it for its old, clunky, creepy self. I really do like it the way it is. So I have a fast pass for Star Tours that's coming up. Star Tours is a bit of a, it's a silly one to use a fast pass on, really. You should only use it if it's the only thing left, which it always is at the end of the day. A lot of the time, it's one of those rides where you use your fast pass and then you join the queue exactly the same time as the standby queue, because you merge before all the really cool bits of the queue, which is great because you want to see all that stuff, right? But it also means you're not getting that much bang for your buck in terms of your fast pass. Space Mountain was like that earlier, actually. I ended up queuing a long time for Space Mountain, despite using my 40th anniversary special priority pass. Ugh. I wonder if they'll still be around after April. We've still had no word on that. I'm probably not going to watch the nighttime parade tonight, and it doesn't look like that many other people are either. I do wonder if the American parks kind of have it figured out. Does Florida ever bring one? I guess they don't, do they? California, they bring it out in the summer, right? Maybe that does kind of make more sense, or at least bring it out in busy seasons. But hey, we pay enough to get into this place. I'm glad that they run the parade, and it's really cool that people can just turn up 10 minutes before and sit right next to the parade route like a normal theme park. I remember doing that for Hong Kong every time, just stroll up and watch Paint the Night right at the front. Oh, I missed that parade. Anyway, we're heading over to Star Tours now. So I haven't done Star Tours for a while. It's a real shame. We're the only Disney park, we're the only Disney park with a nighttime parade, so that's good. We're also the only Disney park with a Star Tours that's not getting the updates. Or at least they haven't said that we are, but it's been a while since that announcement, so I don't think that's happening. Normally, I feel like Disney probably just give this stuff over for free. When it's media like that, right? Like, it's not costing Disney any more money to just... It's literally like giving OLC some digital files. You just Dropbox them the files. I'm sure it's a bit more complicated than that, but that's basically what it is, right? It's not costing Disney anything. It's not like if Disney said they were going to pay for Splash Mountain to be changed or something. That costs money. Like, we got the Coco update to Philhar Magic. I highly doubt OLC paid much for that, because it's not exactly bringing in more guests. So I will be surprised if we don't... Well, I don't know. I won't be surprised if we don't get the Star Tours update. I also won't be surprised if we do, but I hope we do. I'm actually really excited to ride Star Tours. I'm kind of surprised myself. I guess I haven't ridden it for like over a year, maybe? I'm more excited for the queue than the ride, to be honest, but I'm excited. Let's go. I didn't even bother using my fast pass because the queue is 5 minutes long anyway, but I've psyched myself up for it. I'm quite into it. One thing we have in our queue, we have this extra little overflow bit with a whole Star Speeder 1000 above the queue. So that's pretty cool. How great is this queue? One of the best queues ever made, surely. It's got to be one of the best queues ever made, right? I'm quite sure that California and Florida, do they have the hitchhiking droids? I've actually only done the Star Tours update in California. God, it's been a long time since I've been to the American parks. But I remember seeing them here, and I was sure I'd never seen that before, but I might be wrong. Oh, I love a bit of Star Tours. I was wondering though, I wonder if I would ride it more if it was still the old version, because I would have the nostalgia, you know? It's funny, when they announced the randomized versions, it seemed like such a perfect solution to the re-rideability problem, but it kind of makes, sometimes I think it makes me want to re-ride it less than before. Does anyone else agree with me, or am I being crazy? So my fast pass for Monsters Inc. is in 10 minutes, and then I'm thinking after that what to do. Part of me thinks Pirates, because it's right there, and then maybe you leave early. But I'm also thinking it's really hard to get a night ride on Splash Mountain a lot of the time because it closes so early, and like I said, we're closing at 9 now, so if the queue's 2 hours long, it closes at 7, so it's really hard to get in there for a night ride, but it's like 25 minutes long right now. So if the queue's still open after Monsters Inc., which it should be, I might try that. Here we go then, one of the best rides in the park. Speaking of interactivity earlier with Paint and Play, I just love how this doesn't have a score. I think it's so cool. It strikes that perfect balance. Like I overheard someone earlier today talking about Buzz Lightyear, saying, I wasn't focused on the ride at all. I was just looking at the targets. I think this encourages you to explore the ride more rather than distracting you from it. Anyway, let's go. No leg room. Ow, 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 ow. At least it's a fun ride.
かくれんぼはこうやるんだよ。明かりが消えたら始めるよ。
オッケー、かくれんぼ始め。いやー、ヘルメットだよ。これでかくれんぼ走られ。みんなよくやったね。
Fantastic ride Monsters Inc. is. It's so cool now as well. Now we have Beauty and the Beast. It's not like the big newest ride anymore. It kind of sits in the middle, so it doesn't get crazy waits. It's really cool. And that's exactly where it belongs, because it is very, very good, but it doesn't feel as like high level as Pooh's Honey Hunt or Beauty and the Beast or Haunted Mansion or Pirates, you know? It's a fantastic ride. I'm so glad we have it. Splash Mountain's still open, 25-minute queue. Again, I'm going to the total opposite side of the park from where I was, but it won't take me that long. Oh, I don't think I've walked through the castle yet today either. I'll go through the castle, that's nice. And if it's still open when I get there, great. And if it's not, then I'll find something else to go on. But the park's, it's 8:07, so the park's open another 55 minutes or so. So they will start closing queues soon, but nothing has a longer than 30-minute wait, so I should be okay. Let's see how it goes. It's so pretty, look at that. Come on. I'm not gonna miss the 40th, but I am gonna miss that 40th banner. You know, it's a funny bittersweet thing, the 40th, because it's when I started my podcast, it's when I really started to grow my YouTube channel. It's been a really special year for me, and I've been really connected to this place. But it has been kind of an embarrassing anniversary compared to previous ones, so I will be glad to see the Dream Garlands go, but I will always look back on this kind of fondly. We're nearly there and it's still open, so it's looking good. I've just realized how cold it is, so I hope I don't get as wet as I did earlier. I might not ask to go at the front this time. We'll see how brave I am when I get there. I love seeing the flash light it up. Yeah. Hey, we're in. I'm really buzzing to do this at nighttime. I just realized not only do I not ride this at night very often, but because it always closes so early, I don't even come to Critter Country at nighttime very often because it's just a dead end. There's no real reason to come here. The canoes always close around 4, so they're done and dusted. Oh, I love being around here at nighttime. Isn't it lovely?
徳がね、近いうちに剣爪とドジグマはウサギどもを捕まえるよ。
Oh, what a great ride that is. The Tokyo CMs are just the best, man. Like, they're always waving, right? They're always waving all the time. And bless her, it's almost the end of the night, right? The park closes in 10 minutes. And the woman's waving as the boats come in. So I start waving back, and then she gets like more energetic. So then I get more energetic. And by the end, she's like jumping, swaying side to side. I was worried she's gonna fall into the trough. I couldn't resist the front row. Like when you can just ask and get the front row and not wait any extra, I couldn't resist it. So I have my left ear is full of water. My right ear, your left. I'm cold, but that was so fun. Anyway, that's me done for the day. Thanks for watching. If you want to see some hidden secrets from Tokyo Disneyland, then check out this video next.